Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Hope you all are doing well today. Today I am back with a brand new video for you all. Today, as you read by the title, I will be doing a tier list on all of my AMVs that I have done through the past 3 years on my channel. So how I'm going to be doing this is my opinion in through through like judging it sort of with how things played out, scenes, edits, all that stuff. And so, if you guys want to, you can do this tier list. I will put a link in the description for you guys to do it yourself. And you don't have to have done all of these at once. If you haven't seen say like 5 of these, or you've only watched 10 AMVs, that is completely fine. I do not mind if you just do like 10 AMVs. But if you do want to do all 53, because there are 53 of these, you can do that, and you can send it to me through the comment section through a link of some sort, and I'll be sure to check it out myself and see your opinions. And with that, before we get started, let me just run through each of the tiers. So as you see, we have S, A plus, A, B, C plus, C, and D. So as you'd expect from the D tier, bottom tier, worst AMVs, the ones that needed a lot of improvement. There is C tier, which had its some moments, but mostly the AMV itself could have been done much better. And there's C plus, which isn't quite B tier. Like this is saying, like some AMVs I found were not quite B tier, but at the same time not C tier. That's why I put C plus there. So yeah, there's like the middle ground that you expect. B tier, they're like decent AMVs. They have room to improve with all that stuff. And then we have A tier, which is really good AMVs, which I found I liked a lot. Had a lot of good stuff going on, but there were parts that could have been improved. A plus tier, like C plus, it's the middle ground between S and A, where there are some parts which were really good. It's really good, but it wasn't quite like S tier. Then S tier, which is like perfect or almost completely perfect, because sometimes there's just parts where there's a little bit you could have been fixed. So if that, I believe that's all I need to say. Like I said, links in the description if you want to try it. With that, let's dive right in. I'm gonna try and get this done as soon as possible because there are 53 of these which I'm gonna be judging. So, to start off, we have the 100 subscriber special AMV, which I will be putting in B tier. Now, what my main thing with this, editing wise, it's pretty good. There were lots of good moments in it, considering it's also like 10 minutes. But I felt like one of the biggest problems I feel like, was the overall thing that we had 7 different Marvel characters, and then there was Sonic and Link in it, which I felt like was one of the things. And there were parts that could have been done better. I just feel like there were a lot of things that would have made that AMV better, and maybe it should have stuck to a lower amount of characters. Like for example, just sticking to Miles, Sonic, and Link. That would have been, because that's like a big 3 amongst my AMVs, since I've done multiple AMVs on them. And so yeah, that's why it's B tier. Next we got, for my Calamity Ganon Off One AMV, I will be putting it in S. I just feel like I did really good on that AMV. It was a great way to end the year of 2020 with the Hyrule Warriors game. And I just felt like overall there was nothing I really would want to change. I feel like it did a really good job. I would there are parts where maybe I should maybe there could have been something better, but I was just overall happy with it. So yeah, next up we have my Awaken Alive Link AMV, which I'll be putting in C tier, mainly because I would say this was my best AMV of 2018, which was when I started. It was also the best video overall, but there were lots of parts where it could have been improved, and I would see it pretty obviously, but I felt like it did have good transitions and stuff at times. So yeah, next is my Bones AMV, which I'll also be putting in C tier. Like I said, with the Awaken Alive, it did have its moments, but I felt like it overall could have done better. And then there was at first I felt like it was doing pretty decently. It would have been C plus, but toward the end, I felt like it kind of just dwindled down. So that's why I put in C. So yeah, next we have the Dead Silent AMV, which I will be putting directly in D tier. This AMV had, if you asked me like when I first did it, I would think it was really good. Looking back on it, there were lots of moments I could have just changed it, fixed it. There were a lot of parts where the thing was like not really timed well in the AMV, which could have been done better. And so overall, I would say it is a D tier AMV. So anyways, moving on, next we have the Die For You Iron Man AMV, which I'll be putting in A tier. Most of this is mostly just my biased opinion because I like it a lot, because Iron Man's my favorite Marvel character. Although I do feel like it does like rightfully belong there. It would, like, if it wasn't like me being very biased right here, I would have put it in B tier, but I feel like I still had like really good editing to where I would put it in A tier overall. And then next we have my direction AMV. I put this in A plus because it's really good. It was a 2021 AMV which I did this year, and I found like I'd really good on it. At first, I was a bit hesitant when I like a little bit afterwards, but rewatching it before this video, I do find like it is an A plus AMV, and I did a really good job on it. There were parts which I think would have been done better with overall editing. And so yeah, next up we have I'm gonna do both these at the same time. We have the End of Me AMV and the remastered. For the End of Me, I'll be putting this in D tier. I felt like the overall this AMV had like it had a good. I feel like it would have been better than Scared of the Dark, but overall it just didn't overall do that well. And next for my remastered version, I put A plus because I do feel like there were moments could have just been done better overall. So yeah, that's about concludes that point. Next, we'll be moving on to the Link Grounded AMV, which, if you didn't know, was during when I had this idea called AMV Week, because I didn't upload a lot, so I wanted to try and do something that would be like, oh hey, we got something every day from this. Anyways, I'm putting this in C tier. This AMV, it like similar to when I said End of Me, it was the second AMV. It had a lot of potential, but I just didn't like. At first, it just kind of dragged on, and one of the biggest issues, which I felt I did a lot with my older AMVs, I mean, was that I didn't. I had to speed up clips and speed like it's fine when like you time it well, and like it's like it perfectly fits. But I just had like a bunch, like literally the end of the AMV is just the final like when Zelda seals Ganon in like ×4 speed. So it's like, oh, that's not great. So yeah, next up we got the strange AMVs for the short version and full version. I will be putting the full version in A tier and the short version in B tier. The full version I felt did really well. I did really well. There were some moments that could have been improved for sure, but I would say the editing was really done well. For the short version, I felt like it was a bit more awkward. There were times I could have done it better, I believe. But interesting fact, I actually had, since I did the English dub, not an official, but like an English dub version with Nate, I actually edited the video. But this is what gave me the idea. I edited the song itself to shorten it to be the anime opening version. I do like 2 cuts in it to shorten it, and I did a really good job at like transitioning it. It's like neat, and that's what gave me the idea to do these ones. And anyways, like I said, the video itself could have been done better, but I do feel like I did a better job with the full version. Next up, the Hall of Fame AMV, which is my last AMV of the year, as a tribute to Super Smash Bros. And I put it in S tier. Overall, like uh I spent a few weeks on this because I kept like had like mixed scheduling over time with like my personal life and then like with editing with like and then the school. See, I put an S tier. I feel like I did a really good job with like also matching the lyrics with like what is going on the like screen. And so yeah, overall I put it S tier. I feel like I did a great job with ending the year with that. Next up, we have the His World, my 200 subscriber AMV. just like the Hall of Fame, I put it as a S tier. That was, I guess we scrolled up, my bad. So yeah, S tier, really good editing. At first, before going back at it, I thought it would have been A plus, but rewatching it is an S tier. I feel like it did a really good job. So be sure to go check it out because it doesn't have a lot of views. So yeah. Oh wait. Okay. There we go. Fixed it. Anyways, next up is the Rise AMV for Hulk. So funny story. When I was making this, I realized I had two Rise AMVs. So the reason why, even though this is R for like Rise, I did it by the name of the song. I put H before it because I also had right here the Link Rise AMV. So I had to like I fixed all of that. But anyways, so for the Hulk AMV, I put it in B tier. Surprisingly enough, this AMV did really well. Like, it is my most famous AMV. It is the second most popular, most viewed, I'm saying specifically. Because it has like 5.6 thousand views on YouTube, which blew my mind. I did not, as it didn't do that well at first, so I was shook to see it like reach that high. So it was very, very impressive. Yeah, I put in B. There were times I could have done it better, but still, it was a pretty decent AMV overall. So next up, I have the Tari Incomplete AMV, which I will be putting in B tier. So for this, I put it in B tier because there were times when I overall felt like the AMV. At first, it was kind of like I thought it would be more C plus, but not. It was more B tier for me. So yeah, one thing led to another with this one. I was very mixed with it came to this AMV. Then overall, I would say it's a decent AMV, and it just fits with like the B plus category. So anyways, next up we have the Inferno AMV for Sonic. I put it in S tier. I really like this AMV. Like once again, like the Iron Man one, it's a lot of bias here. Like the editing is good. I'm not just being biased. The editing, like part of it is because how good the editing is in it, which is why I put it there. So yeah, editing's really good. And overall, I just like the AMV. So then that's basically it. I just really liked it. So next is the Thor Jigsaw AMV. It's interesting. This one was interesting. I put it in D tier. It could have been C. It could have been C plus. But overall, like for one, the song didn't fit that well with Thor. Like I felt like I was trying to do like different artists and songs for each character. I feel like Jigsaw didn't really fit. That's also why I didn't get a lot of views. I felt like just like, hey, they got Thor, Jigsaw, dude has a hammer. It's like I felt like just I could have been done better, a lot in many ways. So yeah, that's basically the end point of it. Next is the Super Smash Brothers. There's Legends Never Die. I put this in D tier as well. It just okay. So like which one was it? Which clip did I forget which clip I was talking about. Oh right, the rounded video. In the end, I just had it speeding up the last clips. Like I had the one big gleam in like the final cutscene of the game. Uh, sorry, I'm just rushing my speech here. I'm terribly sorry. So yeah, I just really sped up the cutscene and the ending of it, like the everyone is here trailer where it had like all the special CGI where everyone's fighting in the area. That was also just sped up. I feel like it could have been C, but I just feel like AMV itself had so much it could have been better at, but overall it just didn't turn out well. So yeah, next is the Monster AMV, which I also put in D tier. Overall, well, this AMV, I would have said C, but didn't have any real like good moments. And the song itself didn't like Thor didn't really apply to Infinite because Infinite embraced his power. Not monsters like there's something inside of me which I don't want to let out and stuff. But it just didn't fit Infinite 2. So yeah, overall I would say the overall not that great of an AMV, and a lot of it could have been done much better. Okay, so the next one we're on is a remastered original. So we have the Never Too Late AMVs. So for the original version, I would put this in C plus, and then for the remastered, I'd put it in A plus. We're both in the plus category. This is because I feel like there were parts that could have been done better for the remastered. Like specifically towards the end, I feel like I could have done better effects or transitions and stuff. And then with the AMV for, oh wait, I meant C plus. I put in C. My bad. That's actually the first C plus video. I put it in C plus because it did pretty decent, but I felt like it wasn't quite B tier. I feel like it definitely was emotionally driven. That's what made it really good because it had a lot of good moments. But one of the things is it was just a progression of like leading. Like we had like it started off with like Black Widow in the first movie she appeared in, which is Iron Man 2, going off all the way to where she dies in Endgame. There were times when it kind of switched up, but overall, like I said, it was mostly just the emotional scenes that which kind of like help drive it. So yeah. Next up, we have my Sonic number one. I was gonna say no, number one AMV. I put this in S tier. Overall, I thought this was really good AMV. It's funny because this was supposed to be the big one to like celebrate Sonic's 30th anniversary, yet it got like the least amount of views amongst the three, which was funny. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, I feel like I did really good overall. There weren't much I really want to change. A lot of the editing was really good. I remember I actually struggled when reaching the end of it. I didn't know what to do with it there. Then I just came up with something. It's like, okay, there we go. But I still feel like it was good though. It was good. So yeah. Next up, we have the On My Own AMV for Hawkeye. I am putting this in C plus, similar to actually no, not really similar to Widow. It had it was really good. I really liked when I put the speech in. Wish I did some better editing overall with how it played out because I'd softened the volume. I would like to see if I could try and just fix Hawkeye's audio to where the music audio was lowered for him to sound be heard. But overall, I'd say the AMV did well. It had room to improve though. Like I said, it was it just had like it had very specific moments where just not should try to a little harder to like fix something there. But even then, this is like I'm gonna say this now. If you really notice, the AMVs the earlier the AMV was made, the lower it normally is. It's not that I hate my lower ones. It's just I had so much. I basically just started YouTube from scratch with video editing because I do everything by myself. I don't really have anyone to prove it or anything. I just make a video and I upload it. That was especially true back then. I didn't really have anyone like look at it despite my inexperience. Now it doesn't really matter because I've been doing this for 3 years now. But overall, I would say there's a lot of things I could have improved on. Now I'm reflecting, but it's a good thing that you see it because it shows I progressed as a editor, especially in this category of AMVs, or it shows that I have improved over time. So yeah. Anyways, moving on to the next one. Next, we got the Five Nights at Freddy's AMV, the one-way ticket, and for this one, I also put this in C plus. It's interesting. I was thinking putting it in B plus, not B, but the ending was just a played out clip of the of where it just has Golden Freddy just like shaking from the SFM SFM video I got it from. I mean, and I just felt like that kind of declined it because the AMV itself was progressing really well. The bridge area was my favorite part because it was just perfectly transitioned, and then he had a Golden Freddy speech. Well, not really speech, but when he says his thing, I feel like that was really well done. But it's just the ending that kind of brings it down a notch overall. So yeah, next one I have is my Sonic Oxygen AMV. I put this in C for simply because is overall I didn't like it. It's once again it's when I let clips just play out. I don't recall when I rewatched it that I didn't speed up. Well, I sorted. No, yes I did. What am I saying? It did speed up towards the end. I just had the chaos fight in Sonic X play out, like from like before even Sonic became Super. It literally has just the entire fight just play out, and it even got obviously got copyrighted for it. But I just didn't really care. So yeah, it could have been done a lot better, but overall, it could it just had its moments at times though. So next up, we have my paralyzed AMV, which I was gonna put an S. I would like at first I was thinking putting an S. I feel like I did really good. I was thinking like I didn't like I had a really good like 3 last AMVs, but I put this at A plus. I put it in high A plus because like the highest one because it had it had the it had lots of good moments. There were just timing parts, which it's mostly just nitpicking them sort of thing, which I really wish I fixed or at least did properly, because it didn't take much. I just had to like properly just like cut at certain parts and then change the effect and stuff. It wasn't that hard, but then I just didn't end up doing it in the end. So that's why I put an A plus. It could have been S, but like I said, there were some moments which could have best been fixed, but I didn't fix it. But yeah. So next is my Reach for the Stars remix AMV. Well, AMV, yeah, remix AMV. I put this one in A plus. I put a bit more higher. I I found I did really well on it, but it did have times when I felt like it just felt like it didn't have the same like when like let's compare it to my his world. It didn't have the same like yes let's go kind of thing. Like it's like really good level, like really high level quality. It just hadn't it sometimes it also just wasn't in sync at points like well not necessarily in sync like obviously like it aren't in sync, it's just timing wise the timing didn't fit with the song, like it was like slightly off from like what I wanted. So yeah, and that's kind of led it to bringing it down to an A plus. And it's moving on. The next one I have is my rebound AMV for Sonic. I put this in A. There wasn't really much I could really say that brought it down. I just feel like there were just times I could have improved it. There weren't like any major issues, but I put it in A because there could have been like another thing about my before like my airy paralyzed AMV. I didn't put a lot of effects and stuff. It just had a bunch of clips playing out, and sometimes having like a voice playing and like the actual scene having volume. So yeah, but like back to this rebound. Rebound, it did a good job. I did a good job on it. It did well, but I felt like I could have just done a better job with this editing overall. That's why I just put it in A tier. And there wasn't really much I could really push it up more. Just like it's also just like it's not just how well I do it. It's does it belong? Like does it like have the same level as like these AMVs? And which isn't quite. So next, I have a remix AMV between the Speed Me Up and We Are Sonic. Funny thing is, this got copyrighted blocked for like 5 seconds. Not five, like it had like certain parts where it got copyrighted, so that became a whole problem. But then I had put an argument for it and I got cleared for it. But anyways, it goes in A. Like similar to the rebound, it did a good job on it, but I just felt like it could have been done better, and there were parts that sometimes weren't really fitting. So yeah. Anyways, next up we have my Rise AMV, the Link one, not the Hulk one, and I put this in A plus. Interesting enough, I've been working on that thing. Like it's not really working, but it's always been in my plans. I never got to it for like a few months because I kept moving it back for other things. Like for example, the Never Too Late remastered, like that pushed it back because I wanted to release it closer to the time the movie came out when after I watched it. So yeah, and then I just kept pushing it back. Then when it comes to video itself, well, I felt like there were just parts I could have been done better. There were parts that weren't quite like it, like oh if I needed this or oh there's that. It would have just been like, yay, that's much better for stuff, you know? Is next up is my Save Me AMV. Like the Hulk one, this kind of like blew up. Well, it wasn't as big as the Hulk, but it like did really well. As it just kind of crawled up on me. When I mean like it blew up, like it blew up in my face, and I didn't see it coming because it has like 1,000 views, and I think I don't almost 2,000. It's in the 1,000s range, that's for sure. I put it in A. There's a lot of good editing in it. A lot of good editing. The song itself, I don't really complaining about it working with Sonic, but I feel like overall I did a really good job on this. There were times it could have been improved, but like I said, overall it's fine. I just feel like I'm repeating myself with these things, but just kind of the end point of all of this. I'm just cheerleading things. Anyways, next up we have the Scared of the Dark AMVs. So for the what's it called? The original, I put in C tier. Now, um, it's very weird for me how I evade this one, because from an emotional, like similar to Black Widow, it was very well emotionally driven, but that's really it. It did have its moments in editing, like with timing, with like the background, like with the like when Peter Parker dies, the Uncle Aaron getting shot. Uh, then other parts didn't really work, and then the ending was just a rolling clip of the what's it of the what's up danger. I hit the mic by accident. My bad. So yeah, and then for the remastered, I do put in S. I overall just found I did really well on this. It's just flat out good. I made so many improvements. Um, it just it's just great. I just did a great job in my opinion. So yeah. Um, moving on, the big one, the Speed Me Up AMV, the one that's held that was the best, well, most popular AMV I have had until Hulk. This is A because at first I was thinking back in like beginning of 2020, like for the beginning of 2020, I would have said S, but it's A on rewatching it because there were just moments that could have been done better, and once again, effects. It didn't act any like real effects or transitions in it that could have like give it that extra. They push it the extra mile, and so to speak. So yeah, next one we got is my Izuku Midoriya State of Mind AMV. I put this in A plus. The reason it's in like it's interesting because from I first did it, it was like one of my favorite AMVs. Without a doubt, I really liked it. I also really liked the thumbnail. And now looking at it, it were moments that could have been improved at times because it didn't quite have what it needed to push it over the edge to S tier, which is basically just the end point of it. So yeah. Um, next we have the finale AMV. I put this in A. Now this AMV was such a pain to make. Like it was exhausting because I spent 2 weeks on it before it was actually done. But the thing was, I basically just repeating things because it had like when it went to the course, it was like jump scares at the yelling parts, and then had speaking all and that kind of stuff. But overall, like the editing and stuff is really good. I just feel there are just times I feel like I could have done more with it. That might have just made it better. I okay, but I'm similar to area. I'm gonna put it higher because I'm putting it behind the song. It was really good. It was really good. I just felt like it just isn't quite S tier yet. But it's like it's closer to S tier than A tier. Like if anything, I should have put an A plus plus because I got like 3 AMVs here, which I'm like, it's almost S. It's almost S, but not S. So yeah. Um, next one we've got here. Oh, we're actually almost done here. We got there's 13 here, 16 AMVs left. So I'm gonna once again just like kind of speed up. I put this one as Deku because I wanted to shorten it, but then I switched it for the state of mind. But this one, I put an S because there are for some reason some of these AMVs I always have mixed feelings on them. But overall, like this is my official opinion on them. This is S because there were a lot of good moments with it. It was just overall good. I did really good scene selections, really good editing. Overall, it is an S tier without doubt in my mind. So yeah, and okay, I'm just gonna do these both at the same time because I already know what I want for them. For these two next Zelda AMVs, S tier and S tier. Wait, S tier. Okay. Like both those like okay, so now we're on This is the Kingdom and Victorious AMV. Both of these did really well. Well, from a V perspective, they both did really well. Mostly Victorious because it's almost at 1,000. This is the Kingdom at 100. The video itself is awesome. I love it. Like I really like what's really nice. I had like a thing going on for this thing like for both of them. So for Calamity Ganon and Link's Rise didn't have this because they were focused on specific characters. But but for these ones, there was a bit of a thing going on. So it starts off for Victorious. It starts off with Link, transitions to the champions, and then goes to Zelda, which I feel like I was kind of fun to do to like switch up the character as the song progresses because it stays in the theme of things, and it focuses on like different if other characters' moments to shine. I gave Link and Zelda their solo parts because they are like the main focus of the games. And then for This is the Kingdom, instead of it basing it off of like the good guys and the bad guys, it's a mix. Because this game was meant as from our perspective was supposed to be the like prequel to Breath of the Wild, but didn't end up being that way. It's basically like Victorious is the good side, and Calamity Ganon was the bad side. This is just the mixed side where it starts off with the good guys, and then in the middle it goes to the bad guys, and then it just kind of mixes in between everything. And I just feel like that was really cool how I like came up with that and did it. So yeah, I know I've been kind of just rambling on them, but I just really like the editing, the direction they went in. I just love with what I did there. It's only because if you look at it, when it's linked focus, they did not get S tier. This was close. That's mostly just because of my improvements as an editor. But when it came to Calamity again and group songs, they did really well. Yeah, just kind of pointing that out there, I guess. But anyways, moving on because we gotta like speed up, man, speed up. Okay. So for this next one, we got War of Change. For War of Change, I put this in C. This is the Sonic AMV. This song, I recently like, no, I didn't recently. I was listening to the artist is recently. My words won't come out right now. I'm sorry. I'm talking too much. Okay, back to it. So word change. Overall, it's just the editing could have been done better. There were times it had some moments, but it wasn't quite enough to reach S tier. Like it wasn't just quite there. It almost had it, but it wasn't quite there. So yeah. Next up, we have the Way Up AMVs. So I am putting Way Up in S tier, and then I am putting this one in B tier. So for this, I'm gonna start with the original. The original, It was really good. It blew up unexpectedly because I remember at first release it was like I had like a group of three AMVs that came out. It was doing the worst amongst the three of them. Then it's like woo! I don't know why it just kind of did. But anyways, um, yeah. Overall, the video itself is decent. It just had room to improve and could have done better because it just had rolling clips and have a lot of like switching amongst clips, which is something I did back in the day. Which I just kind of like clips rolling. Then when I felt like oh this would be good to put it this there, I put it there. Or like the clip I don't want to keep using the clip or I find a different moment. And for the remastered, overall, it's just an overall improvement with great editing. And overall, I really like the start of it because it started with you all like the running and everything. But overall, it just had really good editing and made as a super huge improvement compared to the original. Anyways, moving on to the next one, we have the Captain America AMV We Are Ignited. For this one, I put it in B. I put it in B tier. It could have been better. It could have been better. But but like I said, like the editing part, editing could have been better. That's just it, really. Like a lot of these, like it it didn't quite hit me like Die For You did, but it did. I did a better job in it than these two, which well, you obviously can see what I'm pointing out. I'm referring to the Never Too Late and On My Own. The editing itself was just better, but it didn't have anything really like drive it to be as far, and there were parts that just didn't really push it, like Die For You did for me. Like I said, this is my opinion. So, yeah. Anyways, um, moving on to the next one, we have the Okay, I'm gonna do these are three here, so we're just gonna do all three at once. For this, what we have here is We Are Sonic Remastered goes for S. We have Alright, need to clear my throat. Okay. This goes C plus. And then this goes B. So yeah, starting we'll go from from bottom to highest. The remix one, it almost was B, but it didn't quite have enough to be B. That's basically that's basically describing C plus tier. I know, but it just is what it is because uh, it just didn't have the same like hype. It I'm not really hype. The Hauling stuff isn't really hype, more so, but the way it played out didn't go as well as the We Are Sonic did, which I only didn't put at like A and tier and stuff is because there were times when it wasn't really editing wasn't really timed well with the song with like certain moments in it. And then We Are Sonic Remastered was just good. It was just flat out good. It just I didn't have any real issues with it at all. The same goes with this next one. What You Want AMV. Oh wait, okay. Okay. Every time I bring something to S tier, the screen just goes up. Anyways, I didn't mean to put it higher, but anyways, it's S tier. I'm sorry, I'm talking really fast. I find this is S tier because editing is just overall good. Although there were some moments which makes me want to put it here where it could have been done better. Well, they're not really better, but sometimes the timing was a bit out, and that's just me being picky about it. So yeah, but overall the editing was just clean, clean editing. It's my favorite amongst the three I've done for FNAF. It's funny because it's kind of a tradition now where I make an AMV a year based off FNAF. Particularly, I based it on like the latest music he released. I didn't do it this year because there wasn't really a song out when I made this. So yeah. Anyways, because I did the finale. I'm sorry, I keep going left and right with these things. Next one, Whatever It Takes. Okay, it's D tier, and the reason why it's D tier is okay. So this is my first AMV, and I would have put it C because it did have good timing with it. But the thing is I had three like it's very weird because my main reason is because I only had three clips playing the entire time. Like three, like not clips, but like scenes. It was the opening for Sonic Unleashed. It was the CGI cutscene for Sonic and the Secret Rings, the entering the palace scene, and Sonic meets Infinite cutscene. And that is like the overall problem. Like we had three scenes, and while I did do good, actually, okay, I'm gonna put its highest though. I did do good editing on it, but overall, it just could have been. I just wish I had more clips in it. I just feel like it just kind of gets boring when it just kind of has a bunch of clips, just well, not a bunch, but three clips. That's my thing. Three clips just rolling through the entire time, and that's basically it. So yeah, the next one we have here is the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate AMV, the What's Up Danger. I really like this AMV, but I put it in C plus because there were times could have been like okay, not the main. It would have been B. It would have been B if I didn't do the speed up thing I was talking about. That's one of the reasons. That's one of the things that affects some of these clips. It's that I sped up a clip in a poor way. It's okay when if I didn't edit it slightly and stuff, it tends to work. But I just like the scene, like the main opening scene for the game, like the story mode, where everyone gets captured and stuff, or during the bridge, is just playing through it and going at like times 4 speed, like I said earlier with the grounded AMV. And that's what brought it down a lot, because it also didn't have a good timing towards the end. And all other thing is rolling clip, which I also just I think clips just roll. I just kind of downgrade because it's like it's not really doing anything. You're just letting something play out. So, anyways, we are down to the last three AMVs here. We have the Whispers in the Dark that goes C. Also, in case you're wondering why these ones don't have any like texting going on, that's because they had a thumbnail, but they didn't have a like editing to it. Unlike the other ones, like the Spirit of the Dark AMV, which I added a thumbnail to because originally didn't. But anyways, back to it. Main reason it's C is because it didn't. It was just the speed. I did another speed thing where it had 5 minutes just rushed in one clip. Like not like I don't know, clip like five like a five the Kingpin versus Spider-Man scene just rushed. And that's what really brought it down for me. And it's like, why did I do that? I can do better. And so part of me, I'm considering doing a remastered for this. Because it could be much better, and I'm probably gonna do a remaster. I might do it, I don't know. I might do it when the second movie is coming closer to release. But that's more of an idea. Because this AMV, it did really well, but it just had like issues, which I just was really frustrated. I'm just really frustrated myself about it. So yeah. Anyways, we're on to the last two. Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. That is an S tier. Ah, that feels good to do, even though like most of these are S tier. Anyways, this is S because editing just overall was so clean. The editing, the direction, everything went the in sync with the scene and the song itself. Everything was done so well. And what makes it even better with it is how much it did, how well it did. At first, it was decent. It was rolling slowly, got to 100, and then it blew up to like 2,000 views, and that made me feel so great about it because I did so well. I felt like it did so well, and I'm glad it did as well as it did. You know? So yeah, it's an S tier. I know I put it higher. It's because I just really like it. It's funny because it was also like I was on a bit of a streak. When I was like judging these, I was it was on a streak with these things, with like performance of things and how I felt about them. But anyways, we're down to the last one. Finally, we have the You Know My Name AMV for Sonic Boom. This AMV I put in A tier. A tier's right here. The AMV, what mainly brought it down was it was just a progression of the story and cutscenes. They did have times when it went backward, when it went forward and then back. That was for like one scene. But overall, the editing was really clean, and it just did overall really well. And it was I did surprisingly well at it. I feel like I did a really good job, and it did surprisingly well. I didn't think it would do that well. It's funny because both of these things were requested by the same person, and they both did really good. So yeah, overall, it's just the editing was really good. I just feel like there were times I could just like mixed it up a bit more to make it better, and maybe include scenes from the other games. I only had Rise of Lyric in here. Funny thing is, that's the only one amongst the three I've actually played, and yet it's viewed as like the worst. Even though I don't have a 3DS, so that's why. Anyways, that concludes it. That is my tier list of my 53 AMVs I have made for the past 3 years. Boy, that was exhausting. But I'm glad I did it. So if you guys like this, be sure to comment it down or just like the video to like get it out there. And if you want me to do more, just support the video, share it, because I enjoyed doing this. So yeah, and like I said, if you want to do your own, feel free to do it. The link to it will be in the description for the tier list, and you can send it to me through the comments, and I'll be sure to go check it out. And if you want, you can do your own video on it. So yeah, anyways, that concludes this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed like doing this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Oh, actually, before we forget, I just realized it's almost New Year's. It's almost New Year's, so yeah, this is like my last video for like 2021. So I hope you guys liked it. I feel like it was a good way to end it. And I will see you guys in 2022. Bye.
Yeah.